On August 5th, Tokyo time, a 14-year girl from China, Quan HongChan, won the gold medal in women's diving 10-meter platform with the high score of 466.2, which has shocked the world. The girl told the media in an interview after the competition that she had won the gold medal because she wanted to earn money to treat her mother's illness, and later she got choked up as she spoke. The reporter also asked her what her personality was. She said, "Personality? Who is personality?" She doesn't know what is called personality, which means she has not been educated well. Perhaps it was just because she didn't have much education, she wasn't affected by the political education of the Chinese Communist Party. Unlike many mainland Chinese athletes who always provide the standard answer in front of the camera, such as thanking the party and the government, HongChan made a statement that shocked the media. "My mother was sick, but I didn't know how to read the name of her sickness, and I didn't know what kind of disease she had either. So I wanted to make money and return home to cure her, make a lot of money and cure her." She didn't say anything about winning honor for the country. She didn't say anything politically correct at all. What she wants was just to treat her mother. Why does a young girl need to make money for her mother's medical treatment? Quan HongChan was born in a poor family in a rural area of Zhanjiang, Guangdong province, with an annual income below the local minimum living standard. Her mother broke several ribs in a car accident on her way to work a few years ago. She has not been able to recover for a long time and has no money for medical treatment. In another interview after the game, the girl said she had no money and had to stay at home during holidays. She has never been to any amusement parks or zoos. So she told the media that after the Olympics, she will go to play the toy claw machine. In China, families like Quan HongChan's and the millions of people living at the bottom of the society are really suffering. They cannot afford to be sick and can't afford to go to school. In the United States, except for a few professional sports such as the NBA, engaging in sports is just a hobby for American athletes instead of a career. Other than doing sports, an athlete must consider his schoolwork, his future profession, and his future career. Some people may ask that, in China, since the government pays for training, why don't they also consider the education for those athletes? Isn't the government's job to think about their future in the society after retirement? Fang Wei, a veteran media personality from Voice of Hope, gave a very in-depth analysis on his Twitter account. He said that the governments of many countries outside the United States also invest money in preparing Olympic Games, but nothing like the CCP, which treats the Olympics like a national battle. The Ccp Sports System dedicates that its sports team are government armies. Athletes are trained from youth sports school at a young age, then selected from the local all the way to the central, and finally to compete for that gold medal. The Olympic gold medals are important to the CCP since they make people feel really proud of the nation. Normally, what we see are just those athletes, and what we don't see are millions of supporters behind the scenes and the billions of dollars spent. Winning gold medals is a propaganda to promote the CCP system in international competitions and to gain prestige. The gold medal winners will get great attention from the party media, and local businesses will also chase the craze by rewarding those winners, so that they can take the opportunity to pave the way for political and business cooperations, and at the same time satisfy the CCP's political propaganda needs. According to mainland media reports, Quan HongChan will receive a bonus of 500,000 yuan. In her hometown of Zhanjiang, Li Zihao, the vice chairman of the local Federation of Industry and Commerce, announced that he will give her family a house. and Guangdong's Dazhi investment company will give her family a store, while another company promised to give her another 200,000 yuan. Her life gets completely changed by a gold medal. However, under the CCP's whole nation system, we wouldn't know how many athletes have been left helpless and miserable after their retirement, and how many tragedies and dark secrets in Chinese sports are known by the public. The so-called whole nation system is a management model dispensed under the communist planned economy, in which the nation unifies resources and forces to select and train professional athletes. Due to the whole nation system, getting medals is the top goal because it can maintain the national interest. However, it is inevitable that athletes may do whatever it takes to achieve their goals. Let's take a look at the followings. 1. Concentration camp style brutal training. Li Xiaoshuang, Li Dashuang, Yang Wei, Zheng Lihui, and Liao Hui, 5 Olympic champions, were born in Xiangtao City, Hubei Province, which is known as the hometown of gymnastics. The gymnastic schools in Xiantao was once criticized by the public for appearing to be an integrated gymnastic schools, but in fact it was more like a concentration camp. Gymnastic schools has a concentration of preschoolers from 4 to 7 years old. These children's families are the same as Quan HongChan's, and they're poor children. Rich families would never send their children to such places. It is difficult for the average person to imagine the cruelty of gymnastic schools. If 1 out of 100 students has succeeded, then how many of the remaining 99 would have fallen ill from the endless training? And how many of them can no longer adapt to social life after they get out of the school? Not to mention that the world champion is 1 in 10,000 or 1 in 100,000. Besides the training sound, the most common sound can be heard in gymnastic schools are the cries of pain from the children after they have been injured and the sounds of the intimidation from the coaches who ask the children not to cry. 2. Life after the retirement is miserable, begging for a living. Only a few athletes who are trained intensively can win gold medals or become sports stars and have a life guaranteed after retirement. But for most of them, retirement means unemployment. When they return to society without family background and education, they naturally become socially marginalized. Many of them also suffer from illnesses because of the excessive and brutal training, which makes their life even more difficult. There are so many incidents happen to those retired champions, such as auctioning gold medals, begging on the street, and being sick without money for medical treatment. Zhang Shanwu, who won the championship in the men's ring event and the men's artistic team all-around event at the 21st World University Game in Beijing in 2001, has been having a difficult life since his retirement from gymnastics in 2005 due to Achilles tendon rupture. He has been making a living as a performer in Beijing and Tianjin. In the photo, Shang Wu, who wore a Chinese team uniform, held the begging bowl in one hand and a sign in the other hand with his name on it as he made his way through the subway cars. In 1990, Zhou Chunlan broke the weightlifting world record in 48 kilogram class. He had no other skills except for weightlifting. Therefore, after she got retired, in order to make a living, she had to go to a local bathhouse and become a scrubbing worker. During the training period, Zhou Chunlan had been unknowingly taking the nutrients given by the coach, which are actually hormones. Because of the hormone, Chunlan began to lose her female physical characteristics and couldn't give birth eventually. Epoch Times reported that Beijing Asian Games weightlifting champion Cai Li had no money for medical treatments after the retirement. When he died in 2003, his family only had 300 yuan left. His wife also suffered from cancer and his daughter had asthma. 3. Athletes are forced to take hormones and prohibited drugs. Athletes are being pressured by the national interest to win glory for their country. Taking hormones, doping, and consuming other kinds of prohibited drugs is a collective and systematic behavior in the Chinese sport. In this year's Tokyo Olympic Games, you can see that the Chinese women basketball team members, the weightlifting champion who won the gold medal, and the 4x100-meter women in the winning team, they look neither like a woman nor a man. And those masculine features on their body compared to the women athletes from other countries has made many spectators suspect that they are transgenders. But the Chinese Sports Committee issued a statement saying that these team members are genuine women. Sun Yan, a famous Chinese swimmer who once broke a world record, was detected using a banned substance in 2014. Moreover, there was a mass army incident, a national sensation. The coach Ma Jingren led the women's long-distance running team to take most of the gold medals at the time and set new world records several times. But he had been forcing his team members to take a large amount of banned drugs and hormones and subjecting them to mind control and physical abuse. 4. The systematic corruption of the Chinese sport. The whole nation system is a political intervention in sport, which leads to systematic corruption, forming a huge chain of corruption among star athletes, coaches, and sports bureaucrats. All kinds of unspoken rules, bribery, match fixing, bribing opponents, and drug abuse are very common. Officials manipulating the game, conceding points, and internalizing the score are something almost every athlete has experienced. He Zhili, a famous Chinese table tennis player, did not listen to her coach's arrangement to concede points in the game. Although she finally won the championship, she was severely punished and forced to retire. After her retirement, He Zhili married in Japan and changed her name to Zhili Oyama. She made a comeback in the 1994 Asian Games and won the gold medal on behalf of the Japanese team, defeating Chinese world champion Deng Yaping. As a result, she was called a traitor by the Chinese audience. The athlete's age is also manipulated by the Chinese officials in order to get a medal. Usually they change the age to be smaller, but there are some events that require a greater minimum age. For example, international gymnastics sets the minimum age at 16. The minors have an advantage in flexibility, so Chinese gymnasts commonly misrepresent their age. Female athlete Dong Fangxiao changed her age when she participated in the 1999 Gymnastic World Championship because she was not old enough at that time. Later, when she participated in the 2008 Beijing Olympics, she changed her age back again. Unexpectedly, after 10 years, the International Gymnastic Federation, FIG, still kept this incident in mind and canceled her individual result. The Chinese Gymnastic Association issued a statement saying it was her personal action, but at that time, Dong Fangxiao was only a 13-year-old girl.